Big news break coming in this morning of a Pakistani terrorist being arrested in Delhi. Arms and ammunition has also been recovered from this terrorist. AK-47s and hand grenades have been recovered. This terrorist was living with a fake ID to prove he was an Indian national. A search has also been conducted at his present address, that's at Ramesh Park of Lakshmi Nagar in Delhi. The interrogation of this terrorist is underway. But huge catch there by the Delhi Police Special Cell. Remember that this comes weeks after the Delhi Police Special Cell, in coordination with several other authorities, had nabbed terrorists in the national capital who were planning to carry out terror attacks during the festive season. This Pakistani terrorist, the details of whom the Delhi Police Special Cell has put out, has been identified as Mohammad Ashraf, was living in fact with a fake Indian ID, which he was named as Ali Ahmed Noori. Now the police have been able to in fact get all of his fake Indian IDs. He had 2 mobile phones with him and several hideout locations which have been busted, in which arms and ammunition has been recovered. Shreya Chatterjee is joining us live from Delhi with more on this. Shreya, give us the details that the Delhi Police Special Cell has put out so far on this big arrest.
Well, it's indeed one of the biggest operations that have right now been done by Delhi Police's Special Cell. One Mohammad Ashraf has been picked up by Delhi Police's Special Cell yesterday night from the Lakshmi Nagar area. Now, what we're learning that he is a Pakistan national, but he was staying under a fake Indian identity of one Ahmed Noori. Now, it becomes extremely significant because this is the arrest that Delhi Police has made, not of an Indian national, but a Pakistan national who's been staying in the Indian capital. And he's also been found out that there has been ammunition that has been recovered from him. 1 AK-47 rifle, 2 pistols, there's 60 rounds of cartridges that's been there, there's hand grenades that's been recovered. So that's huge amount of ammunition that has been found out. Now, from one of his hideout in Turkman Gate, what we're learning that a fake passport has also been recovered. Now, Delhi Police is questioning this particular person because they need to ascertain that whether there has been any sleeper cells from where he procured this ammunition, or if at all he has been able to spread his tentacles. There are more people with him. That is the reason he's being interrogated right now. There is a FIR that's been lodged under the UAPA as well as the Arms and Explosives Act, and this is an extremely significant catch, because just a few days back we also saw Delhi Police sound a terror alert, and it's less than a month away after that terror module that was busted by Delhi Police from Delhi as well as UP in tandem with other ATSs.
So the interrogation of this Pakistani terrorist is underway, and we'll keep you updated on all the latest that comes in. Shreya, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us. What we're also seeing is a big crackdown by the National Investigation Agency. The country's top anti-terror agency is currently conducting searches and raids at 16 locations. The NIA is conducting searches in connection with the Jammu and Kashmir terror conspiracy case pertaining to a conspiracy for conducting violent terror acts in Jammu and Kashmir and other major cities. Now, we understand that associates linked to terror organizations like LET, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen and their affiliates like Al-Badr, the Resistance Front, People Against Fascist Forces, Mujahideen, Ghazwatul Hind, etc. are under the NIA radar. 2 days ago, that's on Sunday, the NIA conducted multiple raids in South Kashmir in connection with the ISIS mouthpiece in Kashmir, Voice of Hind. This online monthly magazine used by terrorists for radicalization of Muslim youth towards jihad. The NIA crackdown is part of an ongoing investigation after recent civilian killings in Kashmir. 6 civilians were killed in a week in the valley. Ashraf Ani is joining us with more details on this. Ashraf, good morning. The NIA is currently conducting several raids, and even on Sunday we saw similar raids taking place in Jammu and Kashmir. Today we're seeing it happen in other parts also of the country. Any information we're able to pick up on exactly who's been raided so far?
Akshita, good morning. And basically, this is the series of raids, as you mentioned in the bulletin, that on 10th of this month, that was Sunday, when the multiple locations were raided in different parts of the Kashmir Valley from north to south. And in fact, same is being repeated today. Now, what we are getting from the sources, 7 locations at least had been raided so far by the NIA in the North Kashmir as well as in the South Kashmir, and also some locations here in the Srinagar. 7 locations which were raided, they are believed mostly the overground workers, the people who work as the overground for the militant groups here in the Kashmir Valley. And these raids are a series of raids which were started by the National Investigating Agency, which is the prime investigating agency in the country, after the recently last week civilian killings in the 3 days when 6 civilians were killed at different locations. Not only NIA is raiding in the different locations, but in fact the security forces, including the Jammu and Kashmir police, has intensified its operations across the Kashmir Valley. As we mentioned yesterday in our reports, that at least 500 overground workers from different parts of the Kashmir had been detained, and they are being grilled and interrogated about the terror modules across the Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, Ashraf, we'll track the latest that comes in from these NIA raids that are underway. For the moment, thank you for joining us. In Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch, we saw a big terror ambush where we lost 5 of our army jawans. They were killed in action after terrorists opened fire at them in a village close to Dera Ki Gali in the border district of Poonch. These jawans were rushed to the nearest medical facility where they unfortunately succumbed to their injuries. The anti-insurgency operation was launched following intel inputs about the presence of terrorists who had infiltrated from across the line of control just days ago. Sources revealed that there was a ceasefire in place in the area since February this year, which has now been violated due to the terror bid. The encounter between terrorists and security forces started in a forest area of Poonch. Sources close to India today have said that at least 3 to 4 terrorists are believed to be hiding in the area. The Punjab Chief Minister has announced ex gratia of 50 lakh rupees and a government job to one member of each of the family.
पूरा देश अपने जांबाज वीरों को नमन करता है। तमाम आतंकवादी जो सेना ने घेर के रखे हैं और जो LOC से घुसपैठ करके जम्मू कश्मीर में घुसे हैं, सबको चुन चुन कर मौत के घाट उतारेंगे। सेना ने पूरे क्षेत्र को, पुंछ के अंदर हो या बांडीपुरा हो, अनंतनाग हो, पूरे क्षेत्र को कॉर्डन कर दिया है। तमाम आतंकवादियों को मौत के घाट उतारेंगे। सेना ने पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर को बचाने का काम किया है और पाकिस्तान की हर साजिश को हमारी सेना ने विफल किया है।
Right now we are at Dera Ki Gali area, which is located near Rajouri and Poonch border here in Jammu and Kashmir, and since yesterday a fierce encounter is taking place in the forest area behind me. Yesterday the security forces had a specific input that there is presence of terrorists in the forest area here at Dera Ki Gali, and after that a massive search operation was launched, and later on contact was established with the terrorists and a fierce encounter started. But unfortunately, we lost 5 of our brave hearts, including a junior commissioned officer of the Indian Army. Reinforcements have been sent, and here you can see, if I can just ask my camera person to show you the pictures. There you see the army vehicles here, parked here in this area, and a large number of army personnel have been sent to the forest area to help those who are already there, to help the army men who are already there. A fierce encounter is underway, and we have learned from our sources that 4 to 5 terrorists are holed up in the forest area. Gunfight is still on.
Let's also get you details of another big win for our forces in the SHOPIAN district of South Kashmir. 3 terrorists of the Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba were killed in an encounter in the early hours of the day. These 3 terrorists have been identified as Danish Ahmed, Mukhtar Ahmed and Yawar Ahmed. 2 operations were launched in SHOPIAN district last evening, the 4th such encounter in Jammu and Kashmir in the last 24 hours. Now, one of the slain terrorists, Mukhtar Ahmed, is from Gandarbal. He was behind the killing of a Bihari Pani Puri seller, Virender Paswan, in Srinagar last Tuesday. Paswan was a resident of Bihar's Bhagalpur. He was residing in Alamgari Bazaar and was working as a street vendor in Srinagar. The search operations in SHOPIAN are still on. Arms and ammunition have been recovered from the slain terrorists. Remember that 25 civilians have been killed by terrorists in the valley this year alone. That includes a Sikh woman principal and a Kashmiri Pandit teacher in a Srinagar school.
Security forces have killed 3 TRF militants in an encounter in the Tulan village of Shopian district in South Kashmir. This was the 4th encounter during last 48 hours across the Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the police claims that among the killed militants, one has been identified as Mukhtar Ahmad, who was responsible for the killing of one civilian, Virinder Paswan, in Hawal area of downtown here on Tuesday evening. In fact, police has now solved the 2 cases in which both the killers had been killed in the encounters. In one incident, the Bandipora case has been resolved, where the one civilian was killed on Tuesday, and another now of the Virinder Paswan, who was the Belpuri seller in the downtown area of Srinagar. The police is continuing and other security agencies crack down on the overground workers. In fact, today, multiple locations were raided by the NIA in different parts of the South Kashmir and Srinagar, where the NIA is also cracking and investigating the cases of civilians during last 1 week in Kashmir Valley. Ashrafani, for India Today, in Srinagar.
And let's get you this footage of how a deputy SP of the Jammu and Kashmir police, who was part of this operation, tried in vain to get the 3 LET terrorists to surrender. He's seen appealing to these terrorists to lay down their weapons during the encounter in South Kashmir's Shopian area. We've accessed that video hours before the final assault. Listen in.
DSP Imam Sahab to guzarish karan surrender hanes ko tayar to ye to kariyo surrender pani no zindagi jiyo to you never at kariyo khada hathiyar troy patar ye to aakhiri guzarish to ye.
Now, the Narcotics Control Bureau's zonal head, Samir Wankide, the man who's essentially been supervising the high-profile cruise drug bust case in Mumbai, has made some startling claims. In a written complaint to senior Mumbai police officials, Samir Wankide has accused 2 Mumbai cops from the Oshiwara station of following him to his mother's cemetery that he's been visiting every day for the last 6 years. The 2 cops, allegedly from the Oshiwara police station, went to the cemetery where Wankide visits every day and took CCTV footage to monitor his movement. This is what Wankide has alleged. He claims that this came to his notice and that's why he's approached senior Mumbai police officials and complained about the same. This complaint has been sent on the same day that Wankide has been given a 6-month extension in his stint as the NCB's zonal head. When India Today, however, asked him about his surveillance charge, he refused to comment.
सर समीर सर बताइए जिस तरह फॉलो कर रहे हैं सर देखिए ये सर थोड़ा सा सर बता दीजिए सर आई कैनॉट कमेंट ऑन एनीथिंग आई एम सॉरी देखिए आप डीजीपी से मिलने गए थे कैनॉट कमेंट।
ड्रग माफिया के विरोध में कार्रवाई करने वाले एनसीबी के अफसरों का समर्थन करते हुए सारा देश खड़ा है और ये महाराष्ट्र की सरकार उन्हीं पर टूट पड़ रही है, उनकी जासूसी की जा रही है। जिस प्रकार से वाज़ेह वसूली कर रहा था, क्या वैसे ही इन माफिया की ओर से भी बड़े पैमाने पर वसूली इनको आ रही है? क्या वही कारण है कि एनसीबी के अफसर कहां जाएंगे, कहां रेड करेंगे, इसकी जानकारी वे पहले जानना चाहते हैं?
Meanwhile, the most high-profile arrest in the case has been that of Aryan Khan, and his bail plea will come up for hearing in Mumbai Sessions Court tomorrow. Aryan's lawyers have maintained that he should be granted bail because no drugs have been recovered from him and that he cannot tamper with WhatsApp chats which are already with the NCB. So here's a quick look at exactly what Aryan Khan's 10-point bail defense is.
Aryan Khan faces an extended stint in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail. And the superstar's son has maintained that no drugs were found on him. The big question now is, will Aryan get the bail? Here is Shah Rukh's son's 10 points defense. Defense 1. Aryan Khan in his bail plea has stated that he's completely innocent and has not committed any crime. Aryan claims that he's been falsely implicated in the case. Defense 2, the bail plea states that there has been no recovery of drugs from Aryan. The plea also claims that the NCB does not have any incriminating evidence against him, accusing the Drug Probe Agency of applying stringent provisions of NDPS Act without any proof. Defense 3, Aryan Khan in his bail plea has denied being involved in production, manufacture, sale and transport of any drug. He has even on record denied charges of illicit trafficking and protecting drug offenders. Defense 4, the Narcotics Bureau, had told court that it had access to incriminating WhatsApp chats that pointed to an international drug syndicate. Aryan claimed the chats had nothing to do with drugs but were in fact about football. Defense 5, seeking bail, Aryan argues that no narcotic drugs were seized from him and the allegations pertains strictly to small quantities. Hence the bar under Section 37 of NDPS Act making the offence serious and non-bailable does not apply. Remember, contraventions involving small quantities are punishable with rigorous imprisonment of a term which may extend to 1 year or a fine which may extend to Rs 10,000 or with both. Defense 6, the superstar's son has claimed that the charges would still fall within ambit of consumption of drugs, which attracts a maximum jail term of up to 1 year or with fine or both. Defense 7, Aryan's bail plea claims that recoveries from other accused cannot be held against him and the entire recovery in the case cannot be used against him. Defense 8, Aryan in his bail plea contends that he has no criminal past and was never involved in consumption or use of drugs. Defense 9, during the hearing in court, Aryan had said he had strong roots in the society and is permanent resident of Mumbai. His bail plea claims that there is nothing on record to suggest that he would abuse his liberty. Defense 10. Last but not the least, Aryan in his bail plea argues that not only is he the son of prominent Bollywood actor, but he also holds a bachelor's degree in cinematic arts from the University of Southern California. Aryan says he's a responsible citizen and has impeccable reputation and record. On Wednesday, the Mumbai Sessions Court will hear Aryan Khan's bail plea at 2:45 p.m. Will the superstar's son finally walk out of the jail? With Vidya in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
The NCB, meanwhile, is also widening its probe in the cruise ship drug bust case. The anti-drug agency has called Bollywood producer Imtiaz Khatri for questioning at 11 a.m. today. This is the second time that Khatri will be questioned in connection with this case. India Today has exclusively accessed details of the producer's round 1 of NCB grilling. The NCB, in fact, asked him if he knows Aryan Khan, to which Khatri replied in the affirmative. However, when asked if Aryan consumed drugs, he replied that he has no clue about that. Sources say that investigators also examined the Bollywood producer's phone and returned it later. The questioning lasted for about 7 hours. India Today has learned that questions related to Aryan will be at the centre of the second round of grilling by the NCB today. The PMO is likely to review the coal or power crisis today after the Home Minister Amit Shah had held a review yesterday it looks like the Prime Minister's office could also step in now, as several states have sent out an SOS directly writing to the Prime Minister indicating that they're running out of coal supply, which could lead to power blackouts. And while the centre has completely said that, there's nothing to worry about and has assured that there's enough coal stock, you've got the PMO in all likelihood taking stock today. This comes after Home Minister Amit Shah held a meeting yesterday in which he met with also the coal minister.